Journal Record Associate Publisher Ted Struley joins us to discuss other stories making news in business this week. Ted, thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here, Robert.
Now, lawsuits were threatened and now they're happening over the health department's medical cannabis rules. What's the latest on that?
Well, there were, we think, 2 lawsuits filed on Friday. The first group that was really objecting to the new rules around the medical marijuana initiative that said no smokable marijuana and that only a pharmacist had to be involved in dispensing it. Their lawsuit says that the health department violated the State Open Meetings Act when they concocted those rules, so they're suing on that basis to go back and give the public a chance for some input.
Oklahoma's soybean farmers are getting hit hard by the new Trump tariffs. What's the latest?
Well, they export a lot of soybeans, and the tariffs have made buyers very nervous, so there's been a lot of up and down. But this week when we look, soybean prices were down about 20% because the export market is threatened. That obviously has farmers very concerned.
Now, there are about a dozen farmers who signed up for the pilot project growing hemp. Is the number of those wanting to get involved what state officials had expected?
Well, it's probably a few more than they expected, but it's not too far off target. There's potentially a lot of products to be made from hemp, and as long as it can be grown here, they think the climate and conditions are right, that can be successful. So a dozen right out the gate is a little high, but not out of range.
Now, the city of Hinton is working on a plan to operate a state park that may be tagged for closure. What's the story there?
Well, that's right. The state park out in Hinton, the city's taking a look at it, not to completely take over the park. The state would still own it, but the city would have a contract to operate the park. They're taking a close look at the numbers to make sure they can make that work financially and avoid closing the park.
It took 2,000 tries before someone offered a solid bid to buy the former Chase Bank Tower in downtown Oklahoma City. Who's the buyer, and why did it take so much time to find someone who was interested?
Well, the problem with that tower is that it needs a lot of remediation. It needs a lot of work on the inside in particular. It also needs a lot more tenants to make it financially viable. Bank First is the winning bidder at the moment, so that's the one the bankruptcy court has given the green light to. There's still a long way to go, though, before that deal can be consummated.
Now, what are you working on for next week?
Well, the city of Oklahoma City on Friday was looking at a plan to put a multi-sport stadium at Chisholm Creek up on Memorial. We'll have a story Monday about how that's going.
That area is growing fast, too.
Sure is.
All right, Ted Struley from the Journal Record, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Robert.